Hi guys, today I'll be making the best pierogi dough ever. There has been a lot of different recipes flying out there, floating out there, and people are adding eggs and they're adding like butter and stuff like that, or milk. That was like really crazy. So I thought, why not show you the best recipe ever for a dough that will always work for you and that will be delicious, and there's no animal products in it whatsoever. So it's great for vegans, vegetarians, it's good for everyone. So let's start. So very important stuff. I have hot water. I boiled it and it's been sitting out for maybe 5 minutes, but it's really hot, and it's really important that you have hot water. I have flour, and I'm using King Arthur's all-purpose unbleached flour, but you can use any all-purpose flour that you prefer. I have 1/2 a teaspoon of salt, and I am going to use extra virgin olive oil, but you can skip that part. As long as you have hot water, you don't even have to use the oil. And then my utensils. So I'm going to sieve the flour. So 1 cup, just sieving it. And this will add some fluffiness to it, or air, which is important. Okay, so we have 1 cup. I'm actually going to use another cup because that's the amount that I'm going to need for the amount of pierogi that I want to make. So another half, same thing. Okay, that part is done. Now add your salt. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add the oil to the hot water. And how do you know how much water you'll need? Well, you will see how much the dough, or actually the flour, is going to absorb. You'll feel it. Okay, here we go. Now I have a wooden spoon because the water is really hot and I don't want to burn my hands. So I'm gonna use that to mix the water with the flour. Okay. So you just start pouring. And you start mixing. Obviously it needs more. And that's what you're gonna do until you get a consistency that is going to allow you to start kneading it by hand. Okay, so keep turning it. Yep, it can take more. And don't worry, you can always add more flour if you need to. So we're gonna keep on mixing it. And again, the hot water really makes a big difference. That looks like we're almost there. Almost there, guys. Okay, at this time, pull out your sleeves. Make sure you don't have any jewelry on. I really don't like to see it when people have rings or tips on their arms or fingers, because that's not very sanitary. So here we go. It's warm. That's perfectly fine. And you're gonna start kneading it by hand now. It's not hot. And it looks like we could add more flour to it. So you basically want to make sure that it doesn't stick to your hand anymore. So you can see that it's still sticking to my hand. That means it can absorb more flour, and that's what we want. So I'll keep on kneading it until it's no longer sticking, and then we're going to let it rest. But one more thing that you need to know, it's important to knead the dough for about 6 to 8 minutes before you let it rest. Okay, so you can see that now it's not sticking to my hand. It's the perfect consistency. So I'm gonna knead it a little bit more, and then we're going to rest it for about 15 minutes or so. And by resting it, I mean you cover it so it doesn't dry out, but you just let it sit. So I have been kneading it, and now you'll see that it's so nice and flexible and awesome. And make sure you do that a few times. Why not? Get some of that air out. It's perfect. Like a little baby's bottom. That's what it feels like. Okay. Now we're gonna cover it with a clean kitchen towel. Like I said, we're gonna rest it, and you don't want it to dry out. So, and step away for 15 minutes. Look at this pliable, beautiful dough. It's pleasant to work with, you see? I'm gonna cut it in half, and I'm gonna start with first of the halves. What I'll do is I'll put some flour on my surface that I'll be working with, and the other things that you will need. Okay, so you see, half and half. I'm gonna put this half away and cover it. Now you need a rolling pin, a clean surface to work on, a glass or something that you will use to cut out the circles, and again flour to make sure that you flour the surface so that the dough doesn't stick.